Moving on to our next story. You typically find alpacas, those large woolly animals related to llamas and camels in the Andean region of South America. But a growing number of farmers here in the U.S. are finding them just as charming and lucrative.
Well, VOA reporter Julie Taboh went to an alpaca farm near Washington to find out why, and she shared what she discovered with our resident animal lover on assignment's Rebecca Ward.
Gentle, inquisitive. They are cousins with the llamas. Very curious. And of course I could sniff that I had food in my hand. Just being very charming and cute. It's shearing season at this alpaca farm in Maryland. Less than an hour's drive from the nation's capital. Most of the animals don't seem to mind getting a haircut. Others, not so much. But whether they like it or not, the 130 animals on Sugarloaf Farm will have their woolly fleece sheared to keep them cool during the hot summer months. That's good for the animals and profitable for farm owner Kevin Brandt.
We're finding that there are more people in the marketplace looking for alpaca yarns because it's considered to be hypoallergenic and it's really as soft as cashmere.
So alpacas are fairly new to the United States and maybe other parts of the world. Obviously they're very popular in Peru. Yes, where the breed originates.
Exactly. They come from South America, mostly from Peru, and they have been coming into the United States since about 1984. And since there was a ban imposed back in the 90s, they are not importing them anymore. So the number of alpaca that are in the U.S. are growing. You have more and more independent farmers who are raising them, mostly for their fiber, but also for breeding purposes, sometimes as pets. And so you have people like Kevin who are independent businesses who are growing these alpacas, raising these alpacas for multiple reasons.
Well, you were telling me earlier that he has another job. He and his wife have another job. So he's managing with his work that he's doing and keeping the alpacas, but I mean, how lucrative is the business really?
Well, one thing that Kevin said in his company, that's the Sugarloaf Alpaca Company, you know, they support the family and they're supporting a group of a team of people who are working with them, but it is not self-sustaining yet. I mean, he says this is not something that you get into to become rich. It's something that you do because it's just a certain lifestyle. If you like being out in the country and being around animals and being in the fresh air. But in terms of being self-sustaining, he is hoping that in the next few years, because he has everything right on the grounds of his farm, that it will be. I mean, this is a growing business in the United States, especially since there's no more coming in. So there's this gene pool now within the U.S., and there's more and more independent farmers who are getting into the alpaca business, mostly, again, for the fiber. The fiber is considered a very luxurious material. Yes, probably most people have an alpaca sweater or a scarf, socks. The finer fleece becomes yarn that goes into clothing, and then you have rugs and accessories and blankets and things like that come from the coarser yarn. And it's warmer than wool, and it's very lightweight, and it's hypoallergenic. So a lot of people who have allergies, they say, you know, find it not to be irritating.
I wanted to ask you, go back to that ban. It's a ban on the animals themselves, not on the wool.
Right. There's a ban on alpacas, the animals, coming into the country because they felt they had a diverse enough gene pool within the United States, and they wanted to just keep it within the United States and diversify it and make it stronger. There's now 300,000 alpacas within the United States, and that number is expected to grow. When I talked with Kevin, he said that within just Maryland, Virginia, DC area, more and more farmers are sharing with each other. There's communities that people buy either the alpacas themselves or are sharing the product from the alpacas or having them as pets. And he's seen this as definitely a growing trend across the country.
And they're pretty darn cute.
They're pretty darn cute. Thank you.
All right, so these alpacas, these animals, might be pretty cute, right? But you might not want to get too close to them because alpacas are known to be spitters.
Wow.
But fortunately for us, they don't usually spit at humans. Mostly they spit at other alpacas to establish a pecking order or to express anger.
Wow. Just imagine angry alpacas spitting all over the map. I mean, that would make a perfect video game. What do you think?
Right, kind of like Angry Birds.
Angry
I think it could work, yeah.